Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? There's been a horrible situation in Ethiopia, and this could be a prophetic revelation here. Of course, Ethiopia is mentioned as one of the Fab Five nations that come against Israel in the great battle of Gog and Magog in Ezekiel 38 and 39. We know that Turkey, Russia, Iran, Libya, and Ethiopia make up the Fab Five, and then plus others will join. Well, there's been a political wrangling going on and a shift there, and now it's turned ugly. A fire has broken out in a prison housing the dissidents near the Ethiopian capital of Addis Ababa. It has killed 23 people over the weekend, according to the government. Now, the blaze took place late Saturday on the outskirts of the city. It led to a major stampede. 21 victims died from injuries sustained during the stampede and suffocation, while 2 others were killed attempting to escape the facility, according to the state-owned broadcasting corporation, the media there, Fana. Now, here's what's going on, folks. Here's where it starts to get a little bit gray area here. Some local Ethiopian media reports suggest the prison wardens shot some of the prisoners rather than letting them succumb to the fire. But this remains unverified, and the eyewitnesses were unnamed, according to the BBC. None were thought to have died from the burns or the fire. 9 were injured. There was 9 injured prisoners, and police officers are being treated for injuries in the incident. The cause of the fire has not been confirmed, and the government did not allude to how it may have started. The prison is home to the opponents of the current government that have protested its tenure in several regions across the country. And the protesters are arguing for greater freedoms, complaining that the government and its forces are too repressive. The United States ambassador to the United Nations, Samantha Power, said yesterday that Washington had pointed out its grave concern about the use of force against protesters in that country. And international human rights groups say that the security forces have killed more than 400 people in anti-government protests since November. So we have another situation developing among the Fab Five, and that is, look what's been going on. Okay, now Turkey's had a coup attempt that failed, so President Erdogan just has a bunch of people killed and fires thousands of people, teachers, firefighters, police officers. He's incarcerated soldiers. They're being tortured and imprisoned. He's ruling now Turkey with a rod of iron, and he's decided to go on he's so mad he's going on a war path, and he's moved troops into Syria. He said he was going to wipe out the rebels that are along his border, which would be ISIS, but instead he's turned his armies directly toward the Kurds who live in the mountains there in northern Syria, and says he's going to push the Kurds back past the river Euphrates. Biblically, we know that the Ottoman Empire, historically the Ottoman Empire has always been a dominant major empire. They've ruled for over 400 years, and they actually controlled Jerusalem for about 400 years. And now there's this urgency, I think, by President Erdogan to reclaim the old Ottoman Empire, while Vladimir Putin is seemingly acting with his maneuvering of troops along the border of Crimea and Ukraine and eastern Ukraine and along the borders of NATO countries, as if Putin is got many thinking he's going to try to reclaim the old Soviet Union. And while that's all going on, again, both those nations are mentioned in the Fab Five. They're mentioned in Ezekiel 38 and 39. And so is Persian Empire or Iran. And they're now sitting in Syria, getting in position where they could just come over the border of the Golan Heights, which is right what it says they will do. Oh, by the way, they've been given a beautiful new deal from the world to make nuclear capability, and you know they're making nuclear weapons. So they've been empowered. So those three are starting to take shape. Then you got Libya. That was Muammar Gaddafi's country. It was overthrown during the Arab Spring, and now it's being ruled by a bunch of radical Islamists who are allegiance to ISIS. That left Ethiopia. Well, Ethiopia has begun to see this dominant dictatorship type government, very oppressive government, rise to power. And that's why you're starting to see some resistance. But here they are now, maybe, don't know how the fire was caused, but highly suspicious that they may have set that prison on fire to eliminate their opposition. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. It seems like all of this, it looks like we're watching the formation. All the pieces of biblical prophecy are on the table. And we're going to talk about it today in our live broadcast at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Also, it'll be on new live stream, Roku satellite television, Blog Talk Radio, and, of course, right here live on this YouTube channel. Give your life to Jesus Christ, because something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Remember, Benjamin Netanyahu just went to Ethiopia and met with their leaders. And they talked about the new dam that was just built on the Nile River by the Italians, called the Renaissance Dam. And that dam has the ability to reshape the Nile River and send 80 to 90% of the water away from Egypt into these 5 northern African nations, including Ethiopia and the Sudan and Kenya and there's others. So unbelievable things are happening. And remember, some people think, there was word on the street, basically, I got emails from people who watch this broadcast from Ethiopia saying the rumor everywhere is that Netanyahu came here not really to talk about the River Nile, but how to get the Ark of the Covenant from Ethiopia to Jerusalem, because they're getting ready to build the third temple. That's if the Ark of the Covenant is actually in Ethiopia. Or is it broken in the mountain of Golgotha, like the discovery was said? Or is it somewhere in this hidden secret compartments underneath Mount Moriah, there on the Temple Mount, in the tunnels? Are you serious? Are you saved? Time's running out.